Welcome back, everybody, to the B-Main podcast. I'm with Gavin Grubbs. As always, my name is Scott Scheib. It's episode 23, and we got a lot of cool stuff to get to talk to you guys about. We're going to start it off with the Snowball Derby, get it hot and heavy. Gavin and I are going to go through some of our favorites, maybe some mid-pack drivers, and maybe some long odds as well. Get to talk about a little bit of the history of the race. Got a lot of NASCAR drivers, regular NASCAR Cup Series and Truck Series competitors coming to race down this year. It is a 50-plus car entry list. We're going to talk a little bit about the Snowflake 125 now this year as well. 70-plus drivers entered. That is going to be a real fun deal. And of course, Gavin and I are going to be there. Gavin, we're driving on Wednesday, and we're both going to be there together. First time we're ever meeting in person. But for other things, we'll get to that. Other things we're talking about as well, the Gateway Dirt Nationals are happening this weekend, and it's going to be awesome. 2 prelim nights, Thursday and Friday, and then, of course, the feature on Saturday. It's going to be awesome. I believe it's over 70 cars for them entered, and as well, of course, you got the modifieds. You got Carson Hocevar over there, as well as Bobby Pierce, two-time winner, and Gavin and I have got some picks on that for us as well. And then we're going to go over, of course, obviously the Turkey Night, the USAC Midget Championship and final night. And we'll end it off and wrap it up with everything that happened in the past 2 weeks on the asphalt side with the South Carolina 400 and, of course, the Thanksgiving Classic. So, all of that to come in this episode. Gavin, I send it to you.
Man, just like you said, I'm ready to be at the Snowball Derby with you.
I am too.
Because this is one of the more – might be the most excited I've been to go to a race this year. And I've been to some pretty awesome races this year, you got to go to the Coke 600 and Kings Royal, so you got to go to, a dirt crown jewel, you got to go to NASCAR crown jewel, and now we're doing an asphalt short track crown jewel. So it's kind of cool that I've gotten to be at a lot of the biggest races in, NASCAR and short track racing this year. So really a bucket list year for me this year.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, you've had a really cool year.
Great.
Especially everything with Victory
awesome.
Junction.
Yeah, exactly. It's been awesome, and there's actually a handful of drivers that we got to work with Victory Junction that are going to be in the Snowball. So that's really cool that I'm going to get to see, 3 of those guys down here at the Snowball Derby.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago about how many people we know. It's going to be really cool. We were hoping to get Timothy on this episode. I know he's still been out. He's been busy with school. I've been busy with school, and so that's why we record late, Gavin and I, so late on Monday nights. And so hopefully Timothy will be on. Hopefully maybe he'll be on for the review, and we can talk about what happened. I'm hoping that we can talk about that he is a Snowball Derby champion, but you never know. Who knows? Anything could happen. But we would love for him to have been here. But, of course, Gavin and I are going to roll onwards and do our thing. And, Gavin, you've never been to this race before, right?
No, I have not. I've
Okay.
not been to the Snowball Derby. I haven't even been to Five Flags before.
Oh, my goodness. One of my favorite racetracks ever. This is the first ever short track racetrack I went to. And it was when me and Timothy met in 2023, and it was for one of his outlaw races. And it was he won the championship that year as well. It was his second championship. But this, obviously, South Boston is my home because I'm an announcer there, and I love South Boston. Great racing everywhere else. I love South Boston with everything in me. And that's obviously late model stocks rather than supers. As a driver mindset, I love Southern National. I think I do really well there. That ties into this Thanksgiving Classic. But if there was another track that I could put anywhere that I was like, man, if I could only choose a few or choose just one or choose, top 3, Five Flag Speedway is absolutely on there. There is no track, not many tracks better than Five Flag Speedway and just the way it drives. And oh my goodness, Gavin, I'm so excited for you to listen to these super late models and the sounds bounce off the outside walls because holy moly is it awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go to my first late model race this year, but it was not the supers. It was the late model stocks. So,
which the late model stocks actually sound good too.
They sound great. What's funny is I think the late model stocks honestly sound better than any of the Big 4 NASCAR series.
Well, hey, then you are gonna love the supers because I think they sound even better than late model stocks. Yeah, so 4 days of action. Our good iRacing buddy, one of Timothy's longtime friends, Tristan, is going to be there on Friday. they're going to be racing in the modifieds. And then, of course, Timothy, he's not only trying to race on Sunday, obviously got to qualify in on Saturday or go to the LCQ. So he's attempting the Derby. He made it in 2022 and 2023 and then missed it last year and didn't go to the LCQ. Went ahead and packed up, went home. But obviously, hopefully this year can make the show with ease. There was a little bit of technical problems last year, but then he's also for sure running in the Outlaw feature on Saturday night after the Snowflake 125. And of course,
I think he might be a favorite to win that. Honestly,
I think so. Him and Bubba Winslow.
He's won 3 track championships.
He has.
And what, did he win every race but one that he ran this year?
I think it was either everyone but 1 or 2.
He won more than he didn't.
Yeah, I think his worst finish was 4th.
Yeah, so I think he's going to do great.
Yeah,
I think
so
he's got a
too.
shot to win that one, and I think that would really set up for the rest of the weekend to be great.
Absolutely, and Timothy has said it himself, like with Outlaw, like they as a team, him and his family understand the Outlaw, like they get it, like they and so not in a cocky way at all, but like they have the Outlaw figured out. And so when they go to the racetrack, they know they are competing up front and have to make small changes. And so they can have, how Timothy says it, more fun that weekend because there's not as much work to be done. And so I'm hoping, obviously, us both as Timothy Watson fans, that he can have a great race and even maybe win the Outlaw portion and give him great momentum into Saturday to help him and them in the final practice sessions and then in qualifying on Saturday night. Because that would be a great role for them, especially if they make it too on qualifying night, then they win the Outlaw portion. That's going to set up great for Sunday morning. And for Timothy's point of view, it would for any driver. I mean, Caden Honeycutt, you could say he's in a very similar box, obviously running a couple more races than Timothy. He's doing exactly what he did last year, and he's running all 4 divisions.
So he's running the Pro, the Super, the Outlaw, and Modified?
Yes. I will say I know he ran all 4 last year, and I know he's running the Super, the Pro, and the Truck this year. I don't know for certainty if he's running the Outlaw.
Gotcha. The Truck, not the Modified. The Truck.
Yeah, sorry.
I forget about those short track Super Trucks.
Oh wait, he is running the Modified too. Yeah. Because last year.
At least 4.
Yeah, because last year he ran 4, and he won the Pro Truck. And then I think he finished. I want to say he finished 2nd in the Modified, and then I think he got crashed in the Pro race. I can't remember.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Something happened. But he had great momentum because of that Pro Truck win, and so hoping something similar for Timothy. Let's talk about. Do you want to go ahead and get into our talking points for the Derby?
I mean, if you don't have anything building up to it, I mean, we can kind of take a look, to get ready for the Snowball. We can talk about the Snowflake because we've been talking for a pro late model race. This entry list is insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and we talked a little bit about the entry list itself a couple of races ago, but honestly, I mean, there's some good names on here that I don't know. There's some that I've never heard of before. To be honest, and I'll be excited to see who those drivers are, how they stack up. I mean, there's a good amount of drivers that I either don't know or don't know much about. Like some of them I've heard their names before but don't know too much. I'm interested to see how Dylan Capello will do because he is the crew chief for Lane Riggs in the Truck Series, and he's a regular competitor at Hickory Motor Speedway in their pro late models. So, and they usually bring a good piece. Obviously, of course, interested about Tristan McKee. We were talking earlier about him and his relationship with Matt Piercy Racing because he's running – I didn't even realize this. He's running the Derby as well. But I didn't even realize in looking at the Snowflake race, I think that 7 probably is that Matt Piercy car that they've run with. Yeah. So everything I was talking about earlier before we were on air was incorrect for the most part. Who are you looking at on this list? I mean, obviously, of course, we're all going to want to see how Keelan Harvick's going to do I think a lot of people, I think if anyone's looking at two young drivers for just how they're going to stack up, it's McKee and Harvick.
Yeah, I mean, those are the two guys that everyone's really put a lot of stock in, especially Tristan McKee over the last 2 years. And this year, especially in the back half of it, Keelan Harvick has figured out racing in a pro late model. I mean, he has been doing great. He's been doing really almost everything. He's been winning. That's just what he's been doing.
Yeah.
He's done everything right almost. He had a rough time at Hickory in that big race there at the Throwback Classic, and this is kind of his second test with a field of that quality. And I think this is where we're going to get to find out a lot about Keelan and really watch him for an entire, 125 lap race against a field of solid cars all the way through.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you as well. And, they'll have to qualify for that race and see who makes it in. I actually, in my knowledge, I don't exactly remember how their qualifying works. And for their LCQ, I'm not 100% sure because I imagine it happened last year, but I can't quite remember. I think it happens right before the race. I want to say they qualify on Friday night, and then the LCQ is like right before on Saturday. Actually,
Saturday,
you know what?
Right before the race.
I think it's either
Here,
the Snowball Derby.
The schedule's on here. Let me find the schedule.
Let me improvise.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Let me go look at the schedule because it is down here. Yeah, so Friday.
Here we go.
Let's see. Friday. Snowball, that's practice. Modified pre-tech. Pre-qualifying. Snowball Derby qualifying. Saturday. Snowflake qualifying is the day of the Snowflake.
Okay.
It's at 3. The top 30 will lock in. And then you'll have the Snowflake LCQ.
Okay.
And yeah, so the top 30 will lock in, and then they'll have an LCQ right before the race. So they'll qualify LCQ, Snowball LCQ, then Snowflake, all bang, bang, bang. Another name that we were talking about, another very young driver, Max Reeves.
Yep.
For the Snowflake. I think this weekend is when everybody is going to find out what Max Reeves really is. Either way, because I don't think anybody really knows yet. Sure, I mean, he has a couple of national ARCA wins, but it's that 18 car with Joe Gibbs.
Right.
Like, if you get in that car, you're supposed to win. You're expected to win no matter what. So this is when we're going to see him in a really tight field with a whole lot of talent for the first time 2 days in a row.
Yeah. Well, and I'm thinking about some possible underdogs, and I say underdogs, but they're not really. I'd put them in a quote-unquote like mid-pack of worst they're going to do is the mid-pack Jimmy Renfro Jr. I mean, he's strong, was strong at New Smyrna early this year. I also, put in there Spencer Davis. Fought for some Pro Late Model wins as well at New Smyrna early in the World Series of Asphalt and won the Pro Late Model portion of the Throwback Classic for the Cars Tour. So Spencer Davis has had recent success. Who else am I looking at? I'm looking at Carson Brown, of course. Has run a lot of dirt stuff this year. I'm moving up to his because I think I agree with you. He's had some good runs. And who is he running with? I want to say, he's running with the Bryson Lopez crew. So and they've had a good relationship this year. He just won recently at Tri-County with them. Or not. Yeah, it was Tri-County.
Luke Baldwin's driving that. I believe that's got to be the Rick Ware car, right?
I imagine so. Yep.
Yeah, I imagine that being the Rick Ware car. Luke Baldwin, the 51. So, that team just won the Cars Tour Championship, Owners Championship. So, I mean, I would say he's one of the favorites to win the Snowflake. Caden Honeycutt, anytime he gets in any race car, you got to imagine him being near the front.
Well,
and then,
And I didn't even realize, let's talk about your big guns. Cole Butcher, who has had the greatest season in Super Late Models in recent memory, is in the Snowflake race. He's scheduled for it. Bubba Pollard, of course, is scheduled for it as well. And Stephen Nassy, of course, winner from last year. Those are probably your big guns of who we're most likely going to see starting at the front. And some of these other drivers we're mentioning would have to pass. Someone we completely didn't talk about as well for younger drivers trying to prove themselves, Jade Evedizian.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get to see Jade because
I am too.
she's been on here with us before. I got to interview her just on my own back at North Wilkesboro. Jade's awesome. Like, she's great. And she had a really good start of the season. And she was good all throughout the year, but I still feel like she's waiting on something to click in the
Mm-hmm.
pro late model.
Yep.
Like, I feel like all the potential's there. I mean, nobody's questioning her talent at all.
No.
And you can tell just by the way she drives the race car. She's, races super hard every lap. She had so many good saves where, she got in maybe a not ideal situation and saved the car, and just so impressive. She had honestly like a great highlight reel, you would call it, even though she, hasn't gone victory lane since early in the spring. But I think this is a good opportunity for her to have the best race she's had of her career so far on asphalt.
Yeah. Well, and I want to go to this as well. And we didn't get to write these down. It's a little bit on the fly.
Shooting from the hip.
Your Snowflake 125 winner pick and your not biggest mover, but quote unquote most improved.
A surprise driver. How about that?
A surprise of who's going to finish well.
I mean, would it be just a cheap pick to say Cole Butcher's going to win it? Like, is that a cheap pick?
I mean, no. Not anything is possible. Like, I mean, you could see Cole Butcher. You never know.
But, I mean, honestly, if I'm looking at these names and a driver I think is going to be up front, I'm going to go Luke Baldwin to win the Snowflake.
Okay. All right.
I think, Rick Ware just won the Cars Tour Championship for the Pro Late models. He has done nothing but just impress me every time he's been in a race car this year. And, sure, you got, Cole Butcher and Bubba Pollard are probably the two guys just because they're, probably two of the 3 or 4 best super late model drivers in the world. That's who everybody's going to gravitate to. They're going to be like, well, they are just above the rest of the field here. But you got to think, the Pro Late model is still a completely different car than the Super. Just because it's technically a slower version, you drive it quite a bit different.
I agree with you. That's a great point.
And I think because of that, I think both of them probably are better super late model drivers than Luke Baldwin. But I think Luke Baldwin might be straight up the best pro late model driver in the country right now.
Okay. All right.
And I think he's in a great car, a championship-winning car. So I think he's going to hop in, and I think he's going to be, up front in qualifying, up front this whole race, and going to find a way to win.
Okay. All right. This is really out of the blue for myself, but I have good feelings about this. I'm going to go with Matt Craig to win.
Okay.
Matt Craig is – I think he's – you might see a driver – that is either better in the Pro Late model or better in the Super. And I feel like Matt Craig is one of those very few drivers that is good at both. He's not, I don't, and this is nothing to the detriment of Matt Craig. Like, he's a great driver, but I don't think he's great in either. But I think he's good in both. And he has solid, like, Matt Craig had a great year in Supers this year, had a couple runner-ups. I think he did have one win. And had a couple fourth-place finishes. So Matt Craig arguably has had, one of his greatest years in the past couple of years. So he's obviously got good momentum in the Super. But again, obviously this is the Pro Late model. He's run the Pro Late model a long time. It's known that when Matt Craig shows up to the Derby, he's bringing the Pro and the Super. And he's done that for the longest time. So he has a lot of seat time in running both on the same weekend. So being able to switch between the mindsets and the practices and everything like that, Matt Craig is really good at that. So I look for him to qualify towards the front and stay up front as well. He qualified up in the front last year, just couldn't quite get past Nassie. He ran second to him for the second half of the race. I think Nassie had a little bit better long run speed. But I think Matt Craig can win the 125 this year.
I like that pick. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this is a driver I think is going to surprise a lot of people this race.
Okay.
And I kind of think you already have a gut feeling of where I'm going, because this is a driver that towards the end of the year, I got to started liking him a lot more than I did at the start of the season, and I really kind of became a fan of him. I'm going to go Connor Jones.
I knew it.
I think he is kind of been the most, in my opinion, maybe the most improved driver of the year in, all of asphalt late model racing, whether that be the pro, the super, or a late model stock. I think he has consistently gotten better throughout the year every time he got in the car. He decided he was going to, change his driving style at the start of the year. And while he did get in less incidents at the start of the year, he wasn't as fast. And he kind of, instead of focusing on being a clean driver, he focused on not being an aggressive driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he lost some speed over that. But I think he found ways middle into the season where he was like, okay, you can be aggressive without putting yourself in bad situations. And he started to show a little bit more speed down the stretch. And I think he's going to be a guy that I think he's going to put together a pretty good race. And I think he might have a couple moments where he's going to be in a situation where he could lose his cool and doesn't. And I think he might gain a few fans back this weekend.
Yeah. No, I love that. I mean, you and I started talking about Connor Jones early on in the World Series of Asphalt, and I couldn't agree with you more. And I honestly have become a little bit of a fan as well in terms of, good job and changing yourself, changing your mindset, and hoping for good results because of that positive change. I'm looking again through the list right now because I had my eye on a few folks, and now I'm not so sure. I'm very conflicted because just looking through the list, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to pick Keelan Harvick just because it's a Rackley War car. I expect him to be again. He's young and he's talented, and that car is also good. But I expect him to run decent. I think there might be someone that we might be in maybe worse equipment or we don't know much about in terms of a driver's talent that could outperform our expectations. Because I would say the same, Keelan Harvick, I would say the same, as I said, for him, for a guy like Jet Noland. A little bit older, but Jet Noland in a whole different sort is very proven in pro late model competition. So even though people don't talk about Jet Noland a lot, I think he's someone that we expect to possibly be in the top 10. And again, I'm putting things in perspective for Keelan Harvick. I think Keelan Harvick will run. I think he'll run top 15 for sure. And I think he'll have clean fights. I think it's going to be about him learning and running, completing all the laps, racing around all these drivers. I mean, he has an opportunity, and a lot of these other young guns as well, like Tristan McKee, have an opportunity to drive around guys like Bubba Pollard, Stephen Nasse, Caden Honeycutt, Casey Roderick. A lot of these guys that have proven themselves, whether they're still on the younger scale with like Caden Honeycutt being 21 years old, or on the older scale like Stephen Nasse and Bubba Pollard, proven veterans. These are all drivers that you can learn from no matter what age they are. Circling back, though, it is still a Rackley War car, but I think we probably might not expect as much of him because we've seen more from Harvick this year. I'm going to go with Isaac Kitzmiller.
Like that pick.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Isaac Kitzmiller. He was the ARCA East champion. Nobody's really talked about that much.
No, they have not. And he had a decent year in the pros this year. I want to look at the numbers, but just by memory, he had some good runs and it was solid.
Yeah, I think he's a solid driver. And here's one cool stat that I liked throughout the year. Him and his dad raced as teammates all year during all the ARCA short track races. And he never finished behind his dad, which I think that's awesome.
I think it is too.
And here's one driver I'm surprised you didn't mention when you were talking about this. And I just want to find a way to mention him because he's kind of our friend. Rafe Slate.
Yes, I knew. I was hoping we'd mention him.
I was trying to find a way to work him in that, but I don't really know much about his racing career other than he grew up racing legends with that group of guys that was like between Timothy's age and my age. So there was that whole group of guys.
He had that and then pretty much pros. And he's formed a bond with his team and does a lot of testing for them. And obviously he's a sales rep for PFC Brakes. but he loves driving when he can. And I don't remember how they did last year. The only other time I've gotten to see Rafe drive in person was when they ran the Baby Rattler 125, and that was the famous clip of him blowing up and him getting out of the car with the massive fireball that kind of went viral for a little bit. That was the last time we saw Rafe, at least in a big race. He ran a couple at Cordele. He did all these others, but that was his last big race. I don't remember how they did last year, but I would love to see Rafe make the race and then, maybe survive and have a solid performance and maybe squeeze a top 20, top 15 out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see it. I'm excited to get to hang out with them too.
Absolutely. We got so many friends down.
Dude,
I had fun last year.
Weekend.
I had fun last year. Last year, I made a lot of industry connections and new friends, and it helped out my career this year in 25. But now I know all of those people, and it's obviously it's still a professional setting for me. It's interesting because a lot of them we are similar ages with, so it's professional, but then we're also friends at the same time. But then there are, of course, other people that are older that it's strictly professional, but you can still have fun with, but it's a little more professional rather than friendly side. You know what I'm trying to say, and I think the viewers probably do. But even then, this year, it's more the friendly side with a smidge of professionalism. And then you add in the drivers that we know now, I mean, and then we're all, I was there last year alone, and me and Timothy were there together. But now it's you, me, and Timothy, and then I know Rafe now. You know Rafe now. I know Caden Honeycutt. You know a ton of drivers, Tris. Oh, my goodness. We are going to have a time, and we're going to have a ball. And we haven't even gotten to talking about the actual Derby yet. We're still in the snowflake.
Yeah, so I think it's a good time to move on to our snowball picks. I'm going to let you go first here.
Yeah. I'll start it out with the obvious. I've got 3 for each of our categories.
Yeah, I have 3 each. And we only have one driver in common across all 3 categories.
I love that. Well, I'll start it out with my favorite of the favorites, and I'll go with Cole Butcher. Well, I mean, he has had arguably one of the best super late model seasons. He is in 2025 the URA Super Late Model Champion, the Southern Super Series Super Late Model Champion, and the ASA Super Late Model Tour Champion. I believe he had 5 wins this year, top 5s in nearly every race except 2, and those finishes were outside of top 10 because of I think it was rear end problems. They have been doing amazing. They won 3 out of the 4 Blizzard races this year at Five Flags, and he's just coming off of a sweep at the Governor's Cup at New Smyrna. He has the best momentum of anybody. He's had a better year than anybody in the super late model. There are not many that are going to be able to rival him.
No, I mean, that's just
if nothing goes wrong.
I'm kind of going to poke fun at you and just say that's a boring pick, but it's boring because he's supposed to win at this point.
Yep. My other 2 are Caden Honeycutt, obviously won last year. He's coming off good momentum with the win at the Crush 250 that I had the pleasure of calling. He's going to be able to run some other races there like he did last year and possibly pick up some good momentum. But, I mean, they blasted on the scene last year, and that car was fast. I mean, last year, no Snowball Derby is ever boring, but Caden Honeycutt drove away in the end. Nassie was, within, a second and a half, but for the Derby, that's driving away. Anything less than half a second is not driving away. But you start getting out of that range, you're driving away for Snowball Derby terms. And then, of course, I've got Majeski on there. Majeski qualified on pole last year. He is a 2-time Snowball Derby champion. Majeski, as we all know, is a short track ace. No matter where it is, no matter what it is. I think this is his 9th consecutive. Or no. I think it's his 10th consecutive Snowball Derby start. And Majeski and the team that he runs with at 91, they're always strong. I mean, won at Slinger Nationals this year. Majeski is going to be a factor, no matter what. Yeah. So those are my 3 favorites.
Majeski is our one pick in common.
Yep.
And I am just going to basically I'm just gonna say I copy and paste everything you say about Ty Majeski because
Yeah.
we both picked him for that reason.
Yep.
My other favorites, I'm gonna go with two past champions of this race, but it has been a long time, over a decade since one of them has won, and 6 or 7 years since the others won, and that's Eric Jones and Noah Gragson. Eric Jones, you know, he doesn't need a introduction at this point for racing fans. I mean, we've seen him win the Southern 500 before. He's won the Snowball twice. He knows how to step up in big races, and he's a great driver.
Hey, when you're on iRacing at Five Flags, Eric Jones is one of the pictures on the champions banner. Did you know that?
I think I knew that, but I wasn't even thinking about it when I wrote him down as a pick. But I think it's just subliminal. I was already thinking about Eric Jones because I was looking at the iRacing schedule just a minute ago before we started recording.
My.
iRacing just put it in my head to, pick Eric Jones to win. Noah Gragson, he's always good at the Derby. And this year, his year has not been ideal for him. He had a rough Cup Series season.
Yeah.
And I think he's coming to the Derby, and Five Flags is kind of his happy place, honestly. We've seen him do so good here so many times. And I think if he can have a good run here and be up front and maybe even win the dang thing, that will help him, even though it is so different than a NASCAR Cup car, just help his confidence and get him in a better space in his mind heading to Daytona in February.
Yep.
And then my midfield picks, I'm going to go ahead and do my midfield picks first since you did your favorites first. Driver we just talked about earlier, Connor Jones. I mean, I think he is – I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'm saying this is a driver who is most likely going to run middle of the pack, but he can make things happen. And I think he's going to be fast. I think it's a long race, and if he can put himself in the right spot, he can win. Dawson Sutton, another underdog or mid-pack underdog for me. He won the All-American 400. He is no stranger to being in victory lane against some of the best of the best. He is in that race. He finished ahead of Cole Butcher, who is, had an amazing historic season. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dawson Sutton run up front and win, and that might be a surprise to some of the NASCAR-only fans who see what he does in Truck Series, be like, why are you picking Dawson Sutton at the Snowball? And I'm like, because, trust me, he's going to be good. He's in a good car. He's a good driver. He loves the super late model. And then another pick, David Gilliland, one of the older guys in the field. It would just be fun to see him run up front.
Well, and he ran, top 10 last year. Was topping the practice charts on Saturday. Day before the race. Like, David Gilliland was not there just to quote unquote have fun or just go out and he was competitive, and that's I agree with you in the sentiment for all three of those drivers. My midfield picks, I'm going to start with Gavin Boschel.
I like that pick.
Rookie of the year in ASA super late model competition. He's ran pretty much everywhere this year. He's been running with the Donnie Wilson camp all year. As anyone that knows super late model knows, Donnie Wilson Motorsport and Anthony Campi Racing are the two top teams in super late model competition in the Southeast. And so, obviously, Boschel driving for them has had a great relationship with them all year long. He was the World of Asphalt Super Late Model champion this year, earlier in New Smyrna, and backed it up with a Rookie of the Year. So I could see him performing well, possibly squeezing in there for a top 10, because he has really, really improved over this entire year as a young driver. I'm also going to go now to the older side with my midfield picks. I'm going to go with Casey Roderick as one of my others. Casey Roderick was a driver that in the early 2000s was running Legends and then Pro Late Models and then Super Late Models. Cut his teeth there, then earned his way up to trucks and Xfinity rides for part-time deals, but never had the money to quite get that to take off. And so he went back to super late models. Last year was the 2024 ASA and Southern Super Series champion with Anthony Campi Racing. But since then, he has not run too much super late model stuff because I think it's been a money thing for him. I can't say for certain, but he's been running the pro with his team that he is in connection with a lot more than the Super. And so I'm happy to see him back in the Super. He's going to run the Super and the Pro, of course, the Pro with his team that I just aforementioned. But do not underestimate Casey Roderick. He is like 32 years old, but I think Casey Roderick,
Talked about him being an old guy, and he's 32.
Well, I know. I mean, young guy for me is 15 to 22, or to 15 to 25. We're getting into the older category when you're over 30, because then once you get to 45, then So anyway, Roderick, I saw him personally come and help Timothy in learning some new things last year, and just the way he talked and just the way I watch him on track and have seen him race. Casey Roderick, given the right equipment, can get it done. And he's running with the Port City race cars this year. So actually him and Noah Gragson will be teammates, which I think is really cool.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Casey. And I think he could have a real shot. I would say definitely competing for a top 10. I think that's where I expect Casey Roderick to perform, is to a top 10 at least. And then, of course, I'm going to go with Bubba Pollard. In his 18 years trying, has never been able to win the Snowball Derby. But, again, everyone that knows super late model competition, the Bubba Pollard name is synonymous with it. One of the absolute greatest of all time. And I put him in the midfield because, again, we only had 3 for each category. But I put him in the midfield just because it seems like the Tom Dawson Trophy is the thorn in Bubba Pollard's side. He is a dominator when it comes to Speed Fest at Cordele. He always performs well in ASA and Southern Super Series competition. But when it comes to the Snowball Derby, it just seems like anything and everything goes wrong for Bubba. So I hope the best for him, and I would love to see a Bubba Pollard win. I think the entire world would love to see that. But just when it comes to this race, Bubba Pollard usually has bad luck.
Yeah, I want to hear about your underdogs, too.
So let's jump over there. I'll start out with our boy, Timothy Watson. I put him on the underdog list because they're a family-owned team, obviously. Now, look, if Timothy Watson was to drive a Donnie Wilson car, an Anthony Campy car, a Port City Race Cars, or a Derek Thorne car, I have no doubt in my mind that Timothy Watson as a driver would be competing absolutely for a Tom Dawson Trophy. Now, again, that's a lot of teams. That's a lot of people working on those cars. Timothy and his family don't have that luxury, and so they do it on their own, and they do pretty gosh dang well for doing it on their own. And so I see Timothy as making the race this year, and I would see him competing for a top 15 because he finished 15th in 2023 when he made the show, and I think this year they can do better than that. So
yeah, I mean, I think finishing on the lead lap should be any family-owned team's goal at a big race like the Snowball Derby. And if you can do that, that is knowing that you did not make any mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And you put yourself in a good situation based on your car. Now, he's a 3-time track champion in the Outlaw, correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
And I think that kind of evens the playing field a little bit for him with these big teams, just how good he is specifically at Five Flags. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got a top 10.
I would love that. I mean, I would love that. I think you would. I think we'd all love that. I'm also going to put, surprisingly, I'm going to put Max Reeves in this category. I think I like what you said earlier. I think this is going to be a real big proving point for Max Reeves. Obviously, he's running that Joe Gibbs car. And we've seen him get some national ARCA wins. We've seen him compete in late model stocks. But I think, like you said, I think even as a driver as young as him, when you get in a car like that, you expect to be competing, in his case, probably for a top 10 and a lead lap finish for sure. But again, he's young. And so I put him in this long odds category of he just needs to have a clean day. And we need to see him fighting with some good contenders. I just think we need to see some racecraft out of Max Reeves because I think so many times this year we've either seen him buried or dominating. And I would love to see some movement out of Max Reeves and just watch his racecraft and how he either lets people by, but most hopefully goes by them, and how he does it and how he works over drivers. And probably in a really long odd, but not too long, but a driver that not many people know about is Hayden Plybon. West Coast guy, runs out on the West with Cars Tour a little bit on their super late model side. But Hayden Plybon ran top 5 all race last year in his 55 and finished top 5. And I don't think a lot of people knew who Hayden Plybon was, but people might remember his name this year because he had a great qualifying effort and he had a good car overall in the race. So I honestly would say Hayden Plybon for sure getting a top 10, but of my long odds category, I think he is probably the highest of the long odds that could get a win.
Yeah, and you just mentioned a West Coast guy as your last underdog, and I'm gonna go with that with my first underdog. I'm on Cole Raz. We've gotten to see him
Love
a
that
little bit
pick.
in
It's a good looking 76.
He ran in the top 10 last year here at Snowball, and he's shown a lot of speed on the West Coast in a super. But when we saw him in the ARCA series, at a national scale, he did all right. Made a couple Xfinity starts, didn't really do anything to write home about. But I think this is a car that he's very comfortable with and a car he's fast in at a track that he's been, solid at before. So I think this is a place that another race we're going to just learn more about Cole Raz before he really starts being around NASCAR a lot more, I think, in the near future.
Yeah.
And then Jake Garcia, another driver with long odds. I don't know if he has much success here at Five Flags, but he's shown a significant jump in speed in the truck this year. Even from the start of the year to the end of the year, he's starting to figure things out and getting better and better the more he races. And I'm not picking him to win at all. I'm not saying my underdogs are, man, these guys might win. But drivers to look at, and I think are going to surprise you a little bit. I think Jake Garcia is going to have a solid run. And then lastly, Tristan McKee, I'm putting him as an underdog because of 2 reasons. A, his age, and 2, because we've mostly seen him in a pro and a late model stock. I don't know if I've seen him run a super before.
Yeah. I don't think I have either. I don't know if he has. I don't know if he has.
And so that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, what is he going to be able to do in a super? What is he going to do against this high level of competition?
Mm-hmm. The best come to the Snowball Derby.
Yeah, exactly. So I think those are just 3, underdog drivers that are going to be fun to watch all weekend.
Yeah. I know, and I love it. I love that we had such different picks. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I kind
of like how similar the picks are because we picked them for a lot of the same reasons. We just picked different guys.
Yeah. I think we're going to save this rundown for sure. Be able to come back to it and see if any of our picks play out for anything. I know the only driver of the NASCAR drivers in the field that we really didn't get to talk about was Kyle Busch. And I know you really wanted to talk about him because I don't think we expected him to come down and run. But I was watching some of Flow Racing's coverage, pre-show coverage of their drive to the Derby, and they did a segment on Busch, and he was saying I believe it was Danny Stockman, his crew chief at RCR, got a call from Bryson Lopez, and that they wanted him to crew chief a car. And he was like, okay, if I do, I want to pick the driver. And they were like, who? They're like, Kyle Busch. and so they worked out a deal. And so Kyle Busch was like, okay, we got an open weekend. Let's go do it. And he was just kind of talking about the weekend itself. Obviously, he won. I think it was 2015 that he won, right? Was it?
Here, let me go look.
I want to say it was 2015.
One second, I will tell you. It was 2009.
Oh, sorry. It was longer.
17
okay, yeah.
And 2009.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, I thought it was 15, which I think that's Eric Jones.
Elliott won in 2015.
Golly, I'm all over the board. Anyway, he's won 2 times. And so I think he last ran a couple of years ago, but it's been a couple of years. And when he ran, it was always his team. It was his KBM car. It was the KBM team. This is the first time he will ever drive it in a team that he's not familiar with. And so it's definitely going to be different. Now, let's look at Bryson Lopez Racing. I think last year, Bryson Lopez really came onto the scene. Like we started seeing those Blue Man Group cars for the first time last year, and there was just one or two of them throughout the Cars Tour and a couple other things.
Now there's three usually.
And now there's three usually. And I would say usually at least two of the three are competing in the top 5.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this is a whole different deal because I don't know if they've ever put a super late model together. Again, they're most known for their pro late model competition is Bryson Lopez Racing and what I call the Blue Man Group. But I think this is one of the first times they've ever fielded a super late model, so it's something new for them, and it's something new for Kyle Busch. Now, you mentioned as well, those two factors I just told you about and that you knew about. You also mentioned the factor of that Kyle Busch, like Noah Gragson, had a really down year.
Yeah, I mean, he needs just I'm just going to call it a shot in the arm.
Yeah.
He just needs something to pick him up and just remind him that he's Kyle Busch. I mean, I know that he's towards the end of his career, obviously, and he's over 40 years old, and he's at the point where a lot of drivers do start to fall off a little bit. But there is no way that Kyle Busch has forgotten how to drive a race car.
Yeah.
So this is when, in a super late model, fits his driving style perfectly because he likes to drive a race car hard. And he likes to lean on that. His best years were when NASCAR's car were where you had to lean on the right rear and drive the car way over the edge.
Yep.
And
I mean, hey, you'll see it this weekend
from what I
with
know,
how much yaw is in the car.
And that's what I'm saying. From what I know about a super late model, the best drivers are the ones who can not push it to the edge, but drive it the furthest over the edge and give this car 120% of what it's supposed to be capable of. So, I mean, I want to see Kyle Busch do good. He needs a good run this week. I can't believe I'm saying that. Me, of all people, saying, I want Kyle Busch to do good.
I do as well. Like, I mean, ever since he went to RCR, not that he's become the good guy, but he's clearly no longer the villain. And I think the quick drop-off that Kyle Busch had just in performance, I think even people that don't – I think it's very similar to what people think about Denny Hamlin. You and I don't like Denny Hamlin, but we can respect the talent that he has and everything he's done in his career. I would say the same thing – not the same thing, but a similar thing for Kyle Busch. I probably more like Kyle Busch, especially now, and his persona now and truly who he is. But as well, you know, with respecting what he has done in his career in NASCAR. And so I think that makes it easier for you to root for someone.
Yeah. And is it weird that we're talking about Kyle Busch kind of as an underdog? Does that just feel weird to you?
It does. It does.
It just feels weird.
But let's not forget, just like you said, he's had a down year and he's had a hard, really 2 years. He hasn't won since what? I think May of 2024. So, and then he obviously has not run a super in quite a while. Well, a super at 5 Flags. He did a couple super late model stuff this year. He ran the Oxford 250 and did decent, but he hasn't run at 5 Flags in quite a while. And again, it's a new team for him. So, would love to see him do well. I'm excited to maybe introduce myself to him and be like, hey, my mom, for some reason, picked you off the TV and said, Kyle freaking Busch, let's go. And it became a meme at one point, and then she actually started to like him. So that's pretty much all for Gavin and I's Snowball Derby coverage. I know that Gavin, more than I, will be posting on social media. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. We still haven't locked down anything. We haven't ruled out the ideas of doing some content like between us, actually, possibly the morning of the Snowball Derby. Gavin and I still have to talk about it, probably Wednesday night and maybe Thursday of just ironing out some details. But, hey, I'm bringing the camera for my photography work, and I might bring some external mics just in case. I know Gavin's got a set too. So,
yeah, I'm bringing my mics. I'm going to actually, now that you say that, I'm going to get them plugged up in the morning and get them all charged up and ready. I got my GoPro with me that I'm going to have to charge, so I'm going to have all my different cameras that I have charged and ready. My microphone's charged and ready. So we should have no reason to not have some content.
I agree with you. So let's move on quickly and close out our asphalt section with the South Carolina 400 and the Thanksgiving Classic. Really big things to note, and I actually forgot to write this one down. There were two things in the South Carolina 400. The first one, that was Riley Gentry getting into Connor Hall in that family-owned number 4 car, to which Connor Hall was fighting for the win and was taken out of the race entirely. And then Riley Gentry, Gavin, came and parked it on the front straightaway like a Josh Williams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, of course, then race officials forced him to get into his car and drive it back, and
so they
wouldn't
didn't even tow it like they did.
No,
Joshua.
they were like, you get back in this car and drive it to the pit. So that was a moment that happened, and then of course, Caden and Carson Kvapil getting a 1-2. I don't know the history, but probably in South Carolina 400 history, that's probably the first brother 1-2. And for Caden, that's 2 back-to-back late model stock wins with Junior Motorsports.
In pretty big races, both of them.
Yes.
Caden is impressing me lately.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be in that car next year and has a lot of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Now, getting ready for 2026. And I hope he does really well. But one thing I do want to talk about. Connor Hall in the family-owned car. This is what you were saying.
Yep.
And we still have no idea what Connor Hall's doing next year. There has been no announcement.
We have no idea.
Nothing.
He ran 2 ARCA starts towards the end of the year. We know he's not coming back with Junior Motorsports. That family-owned car, by the way, it had a ton of Nice branding.
I would not be surprised to see him in a Nice truck next year then.
But here's the thing. I think they already have Tyler Reif. I don't think Tyler Reif is full-time, but I think he's a lot part-time. They already announced Connor Jones is going to be more there for more part-time stuff. I can't remember who their full-time driver is going to be, but they're they're filling up. I don't
Curry
think
then. Maybe?
I don't know, but I don't think they have another full-time seat. So I'm just not sure, but I don't say that with certainty.
Yeah.
But it was something notable that it had a lot of Nice branding.
Now, I just want to point out one thing, and this is me going off the rails 10 hat conspiracy theory. There's a guy that came from the Cars Tour that's racing for a brand new truck team, Dodge, and for Colleague Dodge. But we have no idea what Connor Hall's doing. He was not racing when they were allegedly filming the Dodge reality show. So maybe the reason that he has made no announcement is he might potentially be the winner of that, which I don't know because
I have no idea either.
The show's not out. There have allegedly everyone who was a part of it, had to sign non-disclosure forms because it's a reality game show, whatever you want to call it. So no one can know the results beforehand. But all signs point to Connor Hall being a part of it, and I don't know of any short track drivers that are going to outdrive Connor Hall.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly,
in a car built all by the same people. So I have a gut feeling that he's going to be in a Ram truck, but I have anything to base that off of other than he wasn't racing his late model when they were supposedly filming the show. And the only reason we know they were filming the show is because of some leaks from my race pass.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So, we don't know. No one knows. He hasn't said anything, but there has to be a reason he hasn't said anything, and that would be a pretty good reason.
It would be. Contractual agreements.
Any team that has the resources and knows short track racing that would have gotten Connor Hall would have made an announcement as soon as they got Connor Hall.
It's true.
And so this is my little conspiracy theory that Connor Hall is going to be in the truck series driving for Ram next year. But
okay.
I have nothing to base that off other than just a gut feeling.
Wow. Yeah,
And
well, we'll have to see if it comes to pass. But
yeah,
Carson Kvapil, obviously, still going to be running in the Xfinity Series next year with Junior Motorsports, and then filling in just like 5 or 6 races with another team that we don't know yet. But he's running full-time schedule. But this is you mentioned as well. This is good momentum for him with even a second place.
yeah. I think Carson's going to do really good next year in Xfinity. He made the Final Four in his rookie season.
Yeah, he's got to win.
So, I mean, yeah, I think he is most likely going to win this year. I'm really surprised he didn't win in the 2025 season. Like,
I agree.
I am surprised he didn't win. But in our last race, asphalt race, the Thanksgiving Classic, a lot of post-race drama.
A lot.
A lot. Like, you were explaining everything to me before we recorded because you got to watch these. You have the streaming service that it was on. I do not. So you were having to kind of give me the rundown here. So I'm going to let you give me the rundown of what all happened after Doug Barnes took his car to victory lane.
Yeah,
in
nothing.
What I believe is his last race with Lee Podium.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be, to my knowledge, it was supposed to be the Crush 250. But apparently they, probably worked something out again. I'm not sure, but obviously he was in that 88, in that Lee Podium style car. So only notable thing that happened really during the race that was Lee Podium and Josh Berry running second and third, and they got into each other and had to go to the back, and so that allowed Doug Barnes Jr. to get up in the top 3 and then eventually race around. Josh Berry and Lee Podium eventually fought back to P2 and P3, but were not able to catch Barnes at that point. And so Barnes went to victory lane. And so Josh Berry's team protested the 88. Now, that was not Josh Berry. It was his team. Josh Berry had left the racetrack. And so they tore down everything about Doug Barnes Jr.'s car, and it passed tech. It passed everything. Then I heard, and this was only me hearing this, that Doug Barnes Jr.'s team protested the 17, Josh Berry's car. And apparently they inspected his car and tore it down, and the 17 did not pass and was DQ'd.
Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Well, and that's exactly what happened. So, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And that was probably
for Josh Berry.
You really do.
He wasn't even part of the protest.
Bro gave a great race. He wasn't even part of the protest.
So he's got to be. You said the inspection went on for 6 hours, so he's got to be, landing the plane back in Charlotte, going home, laying in bed.
He might have been asleep and not know until the next morning.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine? You finished second. You worked your way all the way back up through the field. Finished second. You're like, you know what? We didn't win, but that was a fun race. We did a good job. I'm proud of my guys.
Mm-hmm.
Then you wake up in the morning and your phone's exploded, and you look at it and you're like, we did not get second anymore. All because my team thought someone else was cheating.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
So I just feel bad for Josh.
I do too. So, but yeah, that was a Thanksgiving Classic in the books, and we'll see what's to come of it next year. I think this is a great time for us to transition into our dirt segment.
Dirt side of things has been it's winding down. USAC had their season finale just this last weekend, Friday and Saturday night, 2-night show at Ventura Raceway at Ventura Beach, California. The 1/5 of a mile bull ring.
Wow.
A 98-lap midget race.
It was small.
Oh, it's a 1/5 of a mile is... A 1/5 of a mile bull ring is the perfect midget track, though.
Oh, yeah. No, it was great.
I think we've had this discussion many a times that a half-mile track is great for a late model, and a quarter-mile or 1/5 of a mile track is great for a midget or a sprint car, especially the non-wing variety.
Yeah.
And then those mid-size 3/8 of a mile tracks, they put on a good show no matter what you put on them.
Yeah. That's very true. Well, and CV and Day put on a show for like 70-odd laps.
They're both amazing. Like, when you get them in a midget, they're both just awesome.
Definitely.
And that's what I noticed about this race is we talk about, the dirt talent is always really good, and the USAC talent is pretty good, but they don't have as big a names as the winged sprint car side.
Mm-hmm.
Other than really Logan Seavey and Justin Grant, like the two of them. When you think of non-wing racing, you think of those two guys.
Yeah.
But man, you put Logan Seavey up against Kyle Larson, Corey Day, and Buddy Kofoid. That top four, they just absolutely were in a class of their own compared to the rest of the field.
Very true. It was
and
very
usually
true.
anytime those four are racing together, they are that much better than the rest of the field.
Yep.
And you usually have one or two guys that can race with them. You know, Dayson Pursley, Justin Grant, Cannon McIntosh, usually up there with them. Jacob Denny. But the other night, those four were just gone.
Lights out.
And it was a great show. Logan Seavey, you know, he was on the pole, got out to that good jump. And when they got into lap traffic and the two of them were both fighting their way through.
Awesome stuff.
It was awesome stuff. Now, the middle of the race got pretty chaotic. You know, there were quite a few cautions. And then you got a little past halfway after Jacob Denny flipped. He won the Extreme Outlaw Championship. Flipped halfway. What a bad note to end your season on. You know,
yeah.
You win one National Series championship, and you have a great year. You're top 4, I think top 3 in USAC points. Great driver, young driver, doing really good this year. But just to end your season flipping. End your season on the tow truck. It's not what you want to do.
Yeah. No, you definitely don't.
And then Dayson Pursley, who was running pretty well, stopped under the yellow flag and called it a night. And Larson had been working his way up to the front. And I know I said that he was up front, but you had the top 3 that I was talking about. And then Larson just driving up through the field.
Yeah.
But he got up to the top 4, and he was just kind of stuck there with them.
Yeah.
He couldn't get around those top 3, which really surprised me.
Yeah. Well, and you'd think that he would be able to work his way, but by that point you said as well the track was really, really getting slick, and it was getting more and more
really
difficult,
rubbered up.
especially to have different lines. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so rubbered up on the bottom that it had a lot of grip, but when the track gets rubbered up, it almost turns into an asphalt track. And those tires are so soft that it just eats them.
Yeah.
And so everybody was just kind of managing their tires there at the bottom, except for Carson Macedo, who for some reason was the only driver other than Logan Seavey who was remaining up top. And he was passing cars, but Logan Seavey could not get around Corey Day. He could get momentum and get to him, but he couldn't complete the pass because he was going so much further around the outside.
Yeah.
Well, but man,
Day got it done.
Yeah, that 5-lap dash at the end.
Back to back for him.
Yeah, Corey Day's awesome. And what's crazy is I talk about him in NASCAR. I'm like, man, Corey Day's got to get together. He's got to get it together. And I was kind of down on him all year. And then, you know, we have this West Coast USAC swing after NASCAR's over, and he just shows up and dominates whenever he's on the track.
Yeah, he does.
So I'm just interested. I want to know what you think Day's going to do next year in NASCAR. I know this is the dirt section, but what do you think he's going to do? Do you think he gets a win this year? Do you think he's going to be running up front more? Or do you think it's going to be kind of like what we saw this year where there was speed, but there was no consistency and the finishes weren't there?
Yeah. I mean, part of me is really, really thinking I feel like he should
so much.
I feel like he should be full-time trucks.
Yeah, but I mean, he showed a lot of speed at the end of the year.
But for full-time Xfinity, like with the Hendrick car, like I think he can bridge the gap, especially with the back half of this year. I think he can bridge the gap as an Xfinity driver. You know, obviously he made a handful of starts this year. I think I just saw him more comfortable in the truck and, you know, competed in the top 3 at IRP. I think he just felt more comfortable in the truck.
But it's easier to be comfortable in the truck.
That's my point. And
like,
so
I think it was Matt Crafton that literally said anybody can drive this truck.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's why they put him straight to Xfinity. And so I don't know what to expect of him. I think I'd love for you to bring it back up probably in January.
Yeah.
because I would like to dive deeper into that. But I
Mhm.
have good expectations for him, and I think he'll be solid. I think, though, a
Is he
full-time
the favorite for
season,
Rookie of the Year?
mm,
Or is Rajal the favorite for Rookie of the Year?
I don't know. Again, too early. Too
Okay.
early. Too many
Okay.
factors. Too many factors.
Okay. Okay.
I think, though, Day in the Hendrick car, it will take him getting used to a full-time season. Especially after this past season, him having jumped around to so many different things, that now he's going to be truly steady with one thing and getting used to that.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
But
It's going to be good.
And Cannon McIntosh got his first USAC championship.
Woo!
And he was in second for most of the year, and the last 2 races of the year were when he led the championship. The last 3 races
Was he
of the year
behind
were when he led the
Seavey or
championship.
Grant?
I think he was behind Grant. He was
Okay.
behind Grant, and he caught up to him, passed him right there at the end of the year. Clinched it in the second to last race.
Wow.
Or all but clinched it. All he had to do was start Turkey Night, and when they took the green flag, that was when McIntosh won the championship.
Wow.
But with 2 races to go, it was a 3-point gap,
That's crazy.
which for USAC, I believe, is 1 position.
My goodness.
But
Love
yeah, that
the
was Turkey.
midgets.
That
I'll be
was Turkey
excited to
Night.
watch the full season of midgets next year.
And you know what's coming up here in just a few weeks, or a little over a month?
Chili Bowl.
I'm so ready for the Chili Bowl and the Tulsa Shootout both.
You're jumping the gun.
I know, but I've said so many times. It's like my 2 favorite weeks
Hey,
of the year.
that was our first episode. That'll be our
It
anniversary.
was. I know. I'm excited for it. And we got something special for that one, or maybe after the Chili Bowl. I do have someone who told me that they were definitely coming on for our 1-year episode.
It's going to be
you
big.
Get a little excited for that.
It's going to be big.
Huge. It's going to be huge. But yeah, Gateway, Dirt Nationals, Dirt in December, also going on this weekend. It's going to be fun because we're going to get to watch it together.
Yes. Well,
that's what I'm excited for.
And I was going to say, I might have to be doing some work at night. We'll see. But, yes.
We can have it on while we're there.
Gavin, we are getting no sleep.
Probably not.
Because we're not,
okay.
beside, like, Friday, like, let's see. Honestly, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, we're going to watch all the local racing, too. Like, especially Thursday and Friday. Like, Thursday, there's still good racing with the Crown Vics and the Pure Stocks and everything. But then, obviously, Friday night is the Modifieds. We're going to watch Tristan and stuff. We're going to be at the track at least until 10:30 each night.
Yeah.
And then I might have to write some articles or edit photos, like, and then so we might not go to bed until like 1:30. Oh, dude, you haven't had a honey bun burger.
Well, you just said that, and the idea of a honey bun burger just blew my mind.
Dude,
I love
it
honey
is
bun.
a Snowball Derby special. Oh my gracious, is it good? All right, we're gonna get for the social. We're gonna get a first time viewing of the Gavin honey bun burger.
I like this idea, and also, I've had great track food this year. You know, Martinsville hot dogs, great. Also, you said South Boston has a signature track food, the bologna
burger. Oh yeah.
And then you've got to eat some of those. I had some Martinsville hot dogs when I went to Eldora. They have a really good pizza burger at Eldora.
Really?
Yes, it's good. Have you had a pizza burger before?
Never.
It's a normal burger, but it has pepperoni ground up into the ground beef.
Ooh.
And then inside it has pepper jack cheese.
Oh, that sounds so good.
But the cheese is inside the patty.
Oh my gracious.
So it's a pepperoni and beef patty with pepper jack inside of it.
Dang.
It's good.
I can bust that down. Hey, so we'll get a video of you with your honey bun cheeseburger.
I love racetrack food, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good.
You got me really excited now. But back at St. Louis, we got to look at these entry lists a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We got some interesting picks, or we got our picks in.
Yep.
For
only one overlaps as well.
Only one overlaps.
But they're for different events.
But they're different days.
Yep.
Thursday night, I'm going to go with my pick first. I got Bobby Pierce.
Okay.
And, I mean, he is kind of who everybody agrees right now is the number one dirt track late model driver in the country. And it's kind of a unanimous thing. Everybody's like, you know what, Bobby Pierce is number one. Even though he's on the outlaw side, and everybody kind of agrees that Lucas is a little bit better of a series, people kind of feel like Bobby Pierce is the number one overall driver, which I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that assessment. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to look at who else is in that. Like, and honestly, when I look at it, Thursday's lineup a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit weaker than Friday's lineup. And I
agree.
think Bobby Pierce being the number one driver on a slightly weaker night, I just think he's at too big of an advantage not to win.
Okay. I love that you said that. And let me hit you with my exemption. Nick Hoffman.
Okay. I like that.
Nick Hoffman is my guy for this. I can't say that pick with statistics from this year out of my head, so it's more out of vibes. But
he won the modified feature there last year.
And trust that I remember this year in watching the Dirt Late Model Dream and watching other Lucas Oil races that I remember Nick Hoffman performing well. And he's got a stapled history. I think Nick Hoffman is a bit of an older driver. Not too old, but again, a little older.
30.
Yeah, exactly.
He's around 30.
He's got experience under his belt.
Not old, but he's been around. Old for an athlete.
That's my
point.
Old
for an athlete.
He is entering into the veteran category, and so he's been around the block. And while he's won in the modified here, never won in the late model, but he's had a good year. And I think he's one that could add good performance to win his prelim.
Yeah.
Now they're gonna have to qualify and everything, but I think it would be especially good if Hoffman qualifies in front of Pierce.
Yeah, and now after you say that, I'm just gonna go through the other notables that are racing on Thursday. Brandon Shepard, who is in an awesome looking race car.
Oh yeah.
The pink numbers and just all the colors it's just black, and every accent is just highlighter colors. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love race cars like that. We just talked about Pierce and Hoffman. Mike Spatola is always good at the Dome. Tyler Erb, Turbo, one of the most fun personalities in dirt late model racing. To me, him and Cletus McFarland have a pretty similar personality. Like, he's just that over-the-top, goofy, everybody loves him.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Moran, the Lucas Oil champion, also running that night. So, great drivers running. Now, I'm going to let you pick Friday first. Since I picked Thursday first, I'm going to let you pick Friday first.
All right. Friday, I am going with Brandon Overton. Now, that might seem to be a little bit more of a risky pick. And yes, he is my guy.
Because he's your guy. That's your guy.
That's not the only reason. The reason is because Brandon Overton has good momentum right now.
Okay.
I believe it was Lincoln where he was running really, really solidly when him and Bobby Pierce got together. And he didn't get the result, but he ran one of the best races that he has run all year. And so I think Brandon Overton has good momentum. Now, I don't know how Brandon Overton has performed at the Dome. Obviously, the Dome, one of the shortest racetracks that the late models run ever.
It's a fifth of a mile. It's a lot like the Chili Bowl, only it's a little bit shorter, a little bit wider corners and shorter straightaways than the Chili Bowl.
Exactly.
It's almost a circle.
It's a very, very tight fit for late models. And so I don't know how Brandon Overton performs in that situation because obviously when we watch late models run, it's anywhere from a 0.4 of a mile oval to a 0.6 of a mile. Really, that range is about every major dirt track that the late models will run on.
It's usually a quarter to half a mile.
There we go.
But a large majority of the tracks they go to are 3/8 and 4/8.
There we go. Yeah. So I mean, a good chunk bigger in terms of you'd say, oh, it's really not that big of a difference, but it really is. And so I can't say
bull rings on the schedule. There's some, but not a lot.
Right. So I can't say with certainty how Brandon Overton performs from those, but I do know that he has good momentum. Now, of course, he's going up against Hudson O'Neal, Jonathan Davenport, Tanner English, Ricky Thornton Jr.
Tyler Carpenter, who's won the event before.
It's a bit of a low ball pick, but I wanted to go out on a limb.
I'm looking at, man, Friday night is just loaded.
Garrett
with
Alberson, Drake Troutman.
I mean, Mike Marlar.
Yeah.
Like, you're just scrolling down the list, and it just keeps going. And
Carson
going,
Osvar is in this night.
Cody Overton. Here's an interesting driver. Not even one of my picks at all. I just find it a really interesting driver. Amelia Eisencheck, whose uncle is Donnie Schatz.
Really? Oh, yeah. Yes, she's very young.
Yeah. So that's really cool. She's going to be there. But Friday night, it's just insane. Billy Moyer Sr., one of the most winningest drivers in dirt super late model history. Older guy. He's almost the same age as my grandparents. He's in his 60s.
Wow.
But, I mean, just so cool to see him racing. Also my hometown guy. He's from Batesville, Arkansas, right up the road from me. Also the same hometown as Mark Martin.
And the more you know.
Him and Mark Martin grew up around the same age, close together in the same town. One is an all-time great NASCAR driver. One's an all-time great dirt super late model driver.
Really what about your Friday night pick?
I'm going with Ricky Thornton Jr., who is kind of on I'm going to call it an avenging tour, because he had such a great year in Lucas Oil not to win the championship. And this is no shade at Devin Moran. Devin Moran did great. But RTJ was one of the best drivers all year. Mm-hmm. And he won this event last year overall. He won the feature on Saturday night, took home the big money check. And he is great. When it is a track that is all about the driver, he's always up front. He is also great at indoor racing. He runs the Chili Bowl every year, which is a completely different discipline. But still, he can hop in any car and run up front. We've seen him run a midget this year. He's
running the modified at the Dome too.
Yeah, he runs in the modified. He runs in the late model. He runs a dirt midget sometimes. He runs a Silver Crown sometimes. Sometimes he runs a non-wing sprint. He's ran with High Limit and the World of Outlaws this year. The only thing we haven't seen Ricky Thornton hop in this year is NASCAR. And I'm going to go talk about the Dodge Ram thing again. With Kaulig having the free agent truck, which is a different driver every week, I think Ricky Thornton Jr. is going to get his NASCAR debut next year. Because he can drive anything and be fast in anything. So I think he's going to win on Friday night.
If you can't tell, Gavin really likes Dodge Ram.
No, I'm just excited because I like the idea of giving... Look, this is a short track racing podcast, and we're both huge NASCAR fans. And now NASCAR literally has a team and a program whose entire purpose is giving short track guys their shot. Like,
you're right.
This is it is just perfect for us to talk about.
I just love to see your excitement.
I know, I get excited. But yeah, I think Ricky Thornton's going to win on Friday. He's an overwhelming favorite, and me picking him is kind of like you picking Cole Butcher for the Snowball.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a no-brainer pick. Now, I want to hear your, so we went through our picks. Now, feature winner. I want to hear your pick.
My pick for the feature winner. All right, I'm going to go a little bit more mainstream on this one, and I'm going to go Bobby Pierce. So, two-time winner already. Like you said, one of the best.
I believe he's won two. I'm not.
I think I saw that on his socials. I think I saw it on his socials.
I think he's won two.
But he's proven that he is good there. He's one of the best super late model drivers in the current time. There's not much more to say. I mean, Bobby Pierce is Bobby Pierce. I will say about your list is very mainstream, Gavin.
Well, here's the thing. Have you noticed across all of racing, what drivers win the crown jewels?
The ones that you
remember? The best of the best. The best of the best.
You're right. I just like to mock you.
Yeah, I know. But when it is a big race, the biggest drivers are always the ones stepping up.
That's why I saved the best for the rest with Bobby Pierce.
Exactly. And we kind of went the same train of thought there. But I'm going to go ahead and you say this is mainstream because it is mainstream. But he's never won here at the Dome. This is my pick. I'm going to go with Jonathan Davenport. I talked about Ricky Thornton getting his avenging race for not winning the championship. If anybody other than RTJ is going for revenge or avenging their season, it's Jonathan Davenport. And he has said himself, he's not really that great at the Dome. He doesn't like super short bull rings. He likes the bigger tracks, the long races where you manage your tires and, wide open racing. And this is not his style. But he's so dang good.
He is.
And he has been on fire all year. He was, I think, the most consistent driver start to finish of the season. As far as never really losing speed all year.
Yeah.
And I know that this is such a unique event that you kind of can, any notes from the whole season, you can wad up and throw out. Because, we see guys who don't run on a national series regularly run up front here. We've seen Tyler Carpenter win the event, who usually just races regionally in kind of the Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia area a lot from Kentucky. But, I just have a feeling that Jonathan Davenport's going to get his first win in this event.
Hey, and I like that pick. I really do. There's some cool paint schemes. You mentioned it. I know the fans.
You just made fun of me for picking mainstream on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
I'm just going to remind everybody that when we were talking about the Snowball, your favorites were last year's winner, the best driver all season, and a guy who's won the event multiple times.
Hey, you didn't call me out. Hey, okay, all right. What is your list? You got Eric Jones, Ty Majeski, and Noah Gragson. All three of those are a winner. Two of them are a two-time winner. So actually, Cole Butcher has never won. I only have one two-time winner, and I had last year's winner. So honestly, if you really look at it, your list is deeper than mine. Mine's a young kid who just started in the truck series who won last year. Cole Butcher, who has had a good season but never won the Derby. I'm going to throw it right back at you.
Yeah, I do have two Cup drivers on my list.
That's all I'm saying.
Tristan McKee's the only Actually, no, all 9 drivers I picked for the Snowball have made NASCAR starts this year because McKee did run some ARCA races.
Guess how many of mine haven't?
6. Yeah, Honeycutt's raced, Butcher's raced, Majeski's raced. Pollard didn't race this year, but he did last year. Casey Roderick hasn't raced in NASCAR in a long time. Yeah. Max Reeves ran ARCA. So you have Gavin Boschel made some ARCA starts last year, but none this year. So, yeah, you have
5, I guess.
5 that didn't race this year.
Yes.
But really, 2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. Still, more than yours.
It's almost like NASCAR drivers are good.
Hey, all right, that's fine. On to our last segment of the evening. Little paint scheme review. And honestly, again, if you're wondering what Gavin and I are talking about, I might see if I can dash him up on the screen. Might not be able to. But there's some really, really cool paint schemes. What is your favorite, Gavin?
I'm scrolling through them again right now, and I've got it narrowed down to 3 right now.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out which one of these 3 is my favorite. But I'm going to go with Mike Marlar running the Maximum Dome Destruction, like the Maximum Destruction monster truck.
Destruction.
Maximum Dome Destruction. But it looks awesome.
Which one is that? Where is it?
Mike Marlar. It's about
I see it. Oh, wait, yes. Wait, that's awesome.
Looks just like the monster truck. It's awesome.
It does.
That one, and then the Jason Fager throwback to Ken Schrader's NASCAR Cup Series Kodak car.
Yes.
Kodiak car.
That is a really...
Not Kodak cameras, Kodiak. I believe that was chewing tobacco.
Yeah, that is a really, really cool-looking car.
Yeah, I mean, anytime anybody runs a throwback, they're almost always good-looking. I love throwback cars.
Yeah.
And then I said I like 3. There's another one I like. Carson Ferguson is a throwback to Burt Reynolds' Stroker Ace themed car from the movie Stroker Ace, where it was Chicken Pit sponsored.
Wow.
It's
So interesting. Again,
it's a
we have
throwback to
three
a Burt
completely
Reynolds
different
movie.
picks.
And then the one we were both going to talk about. I know you're going to talk about it, so I'm just going to let you take that one.
Yeah. Well, I've got 3 as well. Okay, which one is your favorite? If you had to pick one, before
I had to pick one. I'm going to go with Jason Fager and the Ken Schrader throwback.
Okay. All right. Good pick.
I think that's my favorite.
Okay. I'm going to start with Garrett Alberson in the throwback. It's a body throwback too, not just the paint scheme. Like, that is an old style body, like wing, top, and nose piece, and I think that is so cool. Like,
because aero really doesn't
matter at all. No. And
so it's so cool to
honestly,
run that old body.
In my opinion, I like the roof of this car more than the modern roofs.
Do you know how cool this car is going to look? How awesome it's going to look out there with all the modern
it's going to be
models.
It's going to be
it's
so
going to
cool.
be setting out there, sticking out beautifully, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's one of mine. My other 2, one of them's got to be Carson Hocefar's. You can tell that it was NASCAR team designed. You know?
Yeah, you can tell a NASCAR graphic designer made this car.
Exactly. Like, it's very much not designed the same way most super late models are designed. Now, I think that's cool because I love the colors. It's a really good design. Like, I love the white into the blue. Like, it is a really, really good design. And I think that's what catches my eye.
It's almost identical to his Cup car. It's very similar.
I think this is better. I think in his Cup car they should have used this much blue, because I think the blue and white with the red and the little accents of yellow, like the game bridge, really ties in.
Blue more on the top of the body, but not the roof. Because in NASCAR you just have the deck lid.
Yep.
But in this, you have so much space.
Yep.
To do stuff with.
Yeah, they use their space very, very well for their sponsors, and I think it's a great look. So that's definitely my other one. And then Brandon Shepard with what were you talking about with the black and the neon yellow and neon blue and neon pink, with honestly the little neon splashes in the number. I think it's a really cool look. It's like retro futurist-esque, you know?
It reminds me of
like modern futurism.
Bowling alley.
Yes. Yeah. So
I mean, I know that is a weird thing to say. A race car reminds me of a bowling alley, but it reminds me of a bowling alley.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like laser tag.
Yeah. So if I had to pick one, it's a very difficult decision, but I think it's Carson Hocefar's. Garrett Alberson's, like, I love that old body, but for some reason the color pop for Hocefar's gets me. You know me, I love colors.
I think you like blue. You like blue a lot.
I do. And it's funny because my favorite color is red.
I feel like my favorite color is probably blue, but I don't really
Mine's like burgundy red. It's like
I don't like
crimson.
that many blue race cars.
I don't know. It's hard to do it.
I feel like I like green race cars.
Really?
Not all of them, but this Kodiak car, or throwback to the Kodiak car, looks awesome.
It does. Well, I think that's a good place to end it, Gavin.
Yeah, we don't have a badass and a bonehead this week just because there wasn't enough race.
We're going to have one after this weekend.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say our badass is going to be from the Derby, and our bonehead is definitely going to be from the Dome.
Highly likely.
I just have that gut feeling that that's probably what's going to happen.
Highly likely. We'll close us out, my friend.
Well, thank you all for watching this episode of the B-Main, listening to it, whatever you choose to do. If you need any sort of, sponsorship or partnership request, please email us at thebmainpodcast2024@gmail.com.
Thank you all. We'll see you next time. This has been episode 23.